Hi, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you a video on 7 Deadly Sins Origins and just kind of comparing Meliodas' team versus Escanor's team. These are the teams that I think most people are using right now, so we'll just kind of jump right into it, and I'll kind of give you my take on it in terms of strengths and weaknesses. Alright, so starting with Escanor's team, I currently have that team set up right now. My power level is 50,582. And I'm basically running Manny Staff, Tristan with dual swords, Gia with the sword and shield, and Escanor with the Gluttonous Soul axe. All of them are wearing their engraved armors. I'll just show you very quickly what they have equipped. So starting with Manny, we have the Archpriestesses +5, and then we've got, and it has a level 3 Resonant Wish, which is the max you can get on the set bonus for the engraved SSR armor. And on top of that, she is wearing the Corrupted Watchers set. So kind of just show you really quickly here. 3-piece set that gives plus 7.5% damage and a nice bonus to tag points. And then if we go to Tristan, I'm wearing his Royal Dignity SSR engraved armor +5, and he's wearing Arachnid's Melody Earring, the necklace, and the ring. If we go to Gia, Gia is wearing the Light Footsteps SSR engraved armor at +5, and the 3-piece Corrupted Watchers, just like Manny is. And then for my Escanor, I have the new Northern Wilderness SSR engraved armor. I'm running the Dark Chaos Earrings with the extra crit chance on them and the debuff duration, plus a very, very good bonus, which is the level 3 Resentful Touch. Each hit on an enemy with a burst activated has 20% chance to inflict additional damage equal to 80% of attack and decrease their crit defense by 10% for 20 seconds. And this burst duration decreases by 1 sec every time the effect is triggered. So I share some gear between the two teams, my Escanor and my Meliodas team, which I'll show you and kind of get into afterwards. But yeah, those are his earrings. He's got the Shadowstorm necklace, and the Crimson Flame Oath earrings and the ring are both at +5. Crimson Flame Oath also has a nice juicy level 3 bonus, which is using the ultimate move. Continuously consumes 100 from the magic gauge every 1 second for 8 seconds and inflicts fire damage equal to 200% of attack on nearby enemies. The area burns for 8 seconds, inflicting burn for 8 seconds and fire damage. Okay, so that's their armor. In terms of masteries, I'll just make this real quick. Escanor is max. Gia is missing 2 of her level 4s. Tristan is max, and Manny is also missing 2 of her level 4s. So they're pretty high on the mastery for all of them. And if we go into potentials, Escanor is 3-star, Gia is 1, Tristan's 4, Manny's 1. And if we go to weapons, Manny's just using a level 40 Blazing Staff, nothing too crazy. I do think the bonus on the first strike is better than the one you get on the SSR staff, the one that you craft with your workbench, just because I'm not often activating burst with Manny. So therefore, in my mind, it mitigates whatever bonus I would have got from that SSR staff. Going on to Tristan, he's using his dual swords here, Black Flame, 0 to 6 on the limit break, and he's just basically holding Meliodas' longsword as a stat stick. Okay, Gia, I have the level 40 Black Flame Lance and level 50 Black Flame Wing Sword and Shield, both of them 0-6 for limit break. Escanor 0-6 for limit break on his Gluttonous Axe, level 50, and he's got the Gluttonous Sword and Shield as well, also 0-6 on limit break and not upgraded at all. So good gear. They have the basics of what they need, but I could do a lot of tweaking and optimization to make them better. But I will just show you as kind of an apples to apples comparison how this team with Escanor kills one of the level 4 world bosses. We're going to do Red Demon. And then what I'll do is I'll switch to Meliodas' team, and we're going to do Benacro, also on level 4, who's an equivalent world boss. And neither of these world bosses have weaknesses to fire that Escanor would be using, or to darkness that Meliodas uses. So although not the exact same boss, just because I don't want to wait the cooldown, They are pretty similar. So anyways, we'll jump right into it, and I'm going to go to the Red Demon. And I'll kind of explain the skills rotation I use as I'm doing it. It's taken a little bit of practice for me to get used to, so hopefully I don't mess it up. So I'm always starting with Manny, getting that bonus on her staff for the first hit. Apologies if I don't use the names of the skills correctly. I'm going to call them out by the button number. Okay, start with Manny, throw up your triangle, Draco Priestess, throw your circle, go to Tristan, do your dash, your dual sword, build up the burst gauge a little bit. Okay, once the burst gauge is full, you can go to Gia, throw your barrier, go back, throw your Draco Priestess again, get your punishment up, get your ult up, and now here's when you're going to switch to Escanor. And hopefully you don't get a mechanic like that screws up your damage. But you just want to get stacks of his debuff on, and then throw down his ult. Not as effective that time, because he kind of hopped out of all my buffs. Okay, and then you can kind of just rinse and repeat. Use Tristan to build up your burst. And when you have your burst, go to Gia, throw your shield, go to Manny, throw your buffs and your ult. And then just get on Escanor and start building those debuff stacks up. His Sunspot and his Flare. So he's got Flare right now. If you want, you can even use Gia's ult, because it also does quite a nice buff to Escanor's fire damage. Okay, come back in with Escanor. Get your buffs up. If you throw down his circle, you get 2 extra buff stacks towards his flare. So definitely use that as soon as possible. And that's basically the rotation. I'm sure there's different iterations that you can do of that, probably. And then also just depending on what other characters you team up with Escanor. You can use Gia as the rapier instead of Tristan to build up your burst. That is an alternative. You could even throw Tiora in there, who's also fire. I'm planning on building Escanor with sword and shield in the future, and I may throw Tiora onto the team for her defense increase, because it works with a lot of his sword and shield skills. They're all built on defense. And plus I have that ring and those earrings, which are really helping with the debuffs and the dots and everything. So that's a quick preview. Because these guys share equipment, I am going to switch over my team and then change a few pieces of the equipment and show you on Meliodas. So anyways, here is my Meliodas team, now that I've fast forwarded to this for you and spared you all the time it took me to swap everything out. My Meliodas team, which was my original team, and since patch 1.2 I've kind of switched over to Escanor, is basically the same attack power, 50,814, compared to my Escanor team, which is just 300 less than that. On this team I have the exact same Manny as I had showed you with Escanor, and in addition I now have Jericho, Meliodas, and Deanne. Jericho serves as my filler up of the burst gauge. She's basically Tristan, but the ice form, which works with Meliodas' burst, which is key to note, whereas Jericho's ice burst, which is quite quick to build up and set off, does not work with Escanor's fire. And so that was the main reason, one of the main reasons I had to switch up the entire comp. But basically, yeah. So Jericho does the burst, Meliodas does the DPS. He's basically Escanor on this team, and Deanne is like our secondary support. Deanne is on gauntlets with basically a healing style build, where when she takes damage, she heals, and it's quite effective, and you can heal pretty much from 0 almost up to full with it. So depending on how you time it and when you execute it. But yeah, I'll show you, that's kind of how the team comp works, and then I'll show you kind of what these new characters are wearing. So we have Jericho using Tristan's dual swords, just a regular lance and a rapier. Meliodas using Gluttonous Soul longsword, again, only level 50 but no limit break. Black Flame Wings axe, which is level 40 with no limit break on it. These Skyborn Gale dual swords, level 20 with 3 limit break. Doesn't really mean anything, don't use them. The additional weapons give, I believe, 30% of their core stats towards your overall team. So that is kind of the purpose in having them, even though you don't use them. And then Deanne, we have the Black Flame Wings gauntlets, level 40, Blazing Axe, and Blazing Nunchaku. I should also mention, and I didn't earlier, that pretty much all my gluttonous ones, I have an element-specific gemstone, the max one you can get. Gia's Sword and Shield, I have the fire one, even though it's not a gluttonous soul one, because I can trade it between her and Escanor. And then for the other level 50s and 40s, they just have like a legendary spell bead. So it does make quite a difference. Those beads increase your damage quite substantially on the weapon and give a lot of extra stats. But yes, going back to the team, so we looked at the weapons. We're going to look at the armor. Jericho's using Holy Knight with Star-Shaped Visor, which basically gives her a huge increase to her burst, and will fill the burst gauge a lot quicker, and it's only level 1 in terms of the additional the bonus that you get from it. Okay, and then she's got Mad Miner earrings for crit damage, Corrupted Watcher's necklace. And then Meliodas, Dark Chaos earrings, Shadowstorm craft necklace, Arachne Melody with big darkness attack bonus, and a new adventure which has got a level 3 bonus on it. So next person we have up would be Deanne. We have Cheerful Girl. It's a hard one to say for me. Level 1. And this armor basically is what, if you read it here, using the ultimate move restores HP equal to 10% of max HP each time shadow resistance boost is gained within 15 seconds. Normal skill damage increases by 25% for 5 seconds when burst is activated. So basically when she goes into her alt form, the big metal form she does, everything that hits you heals you, which is amazing. She actually acts as like a healer on this team. And can, I would say, a second to Jericho in terms of how quick she can fill up the burst bar. We have the Life Crystal earrings, +5. Very nice stats on them, I think. Healing efficiency and buff duration for what Deanne is doing. Curse Pulse necklace. Life Crystal ring with a cold attack on it, which doesn't really help her much. But yeah, so that is the melee team in terms of potential. Since I showed you with Escanor, only 1 star on Deanne, 2 on Meliodas, 3 on Jericho, and again 1 on Manny. So nothing too crazy. We are now going to go over to Banacro, and I'm going to show you how Team Melee does. So the strategy for Melee is going to be similar in the sense that Manny is going to be the very first person on your team. It's going to drop down Triangle, Draco Priestess, or Circle. You're going to go to Jericho. You're going to pop her Circle. Make sure you're standing next to them when you do that, because it does give additional burst if they get hit in all the ice underneath them. You're going to do your Triangle, hopefully from behind, for the extra burst. Then you're going to swap to Melee. You're going to get 2 stacks of haste. Oh, that got messed up. And then you're going to press Circle, and it's supposed to chain over and over and over, but because he knocked me out, I didn't really get to show you very good. Okay, so we'll just do a bit of a rinse and repeat here. Okay. Into Melee. Haste, haste. And that's pretty much it. You can chain, I've chained that up to 5 times, but basically you just do that. In this case, I had an alt, which I didn't even use, but with the Meli and the Manny team, if you can get it to, what is it, 3 for Meliodas' alt and 3 for Manny's, so if you can get it to 6, which is right by where your HP is at the bottom, if you see the little purple orbs, you can do a combo alt with Manny and Meli, which just absolutely melts. It's like Manny throws down like a, what is it, like a AoE that just does a ton of damage, and it just kind of ticks and ticks and ticks, and then Meli's just chaining his circle over and over and over, and you can melt them down really, really quickly. I didn't really show you Deanne, but basically, yeah, if you go into her metal form like this, and what you do is, I usually save my alt on this team, and rather than using the Meli-Manny combo, if I'm on a harder, like Abyss fight or something, I will switch to Deanne, and I will just wait for when I know the enemies, you know, they're kind of mechanics and their sequence to moves. I'll wait till when I know they're doing the biggest amount of burst, and then I'll throw that down, and they'll basically just, it'll mitigate the damage and heal me up. I do find it doesn't work if you're too low, like if you can be killed within that one shot. Sometimes it doesn't work. But yeah, overall, I will tell you that my impressions of these two teams is that the playstyle of them is very different. They basically are built around Meliodas and Escanor. So you can't just throw Meli or Escanor into any team, although there are many variations of these teams you can do. They have to kind of have a good supporting crew. Basically, I find Meliodas is the one that I'm going to for doing my gold dungeons and my mastery dungeons. I do find, even though now both of those teams are pretty much on par, that Meli's team is still a lot faster for killing. His burst comes a lot sooner, and there's a lot less that has to be done to set up his damage, like Escanor. You know, as I was showing you, there's such a rotation to it and a sequence of skills, and he needs all these things which enhances fire. I didn't really go too much into the video and kind of break down the skills for you, but like there's, for example, if we went to Escanor, okay, and we looked at his, what is it, his passive, I think. So Sunspot stack, so you have to kind of like attack a little bit and get this buff up for him to do a big heaping amount of damage. You also need Gia to go in with her shield skill, which is the barrier. Grants all heroes a barrier equal to 20% of max HP, inflicts damage equal to 164% of attack. So you could throw that. You could throw her alt, which increases fire damage by 20 seconds and inflicts a dot equal to 8% of attack every 0.4 seconds. And then, of course, you have the Dragon Priestess, so increasing ultimate move damage by 30% when an allied hero attacks an enemy affected by punishment. Punishment you throw on them by doing Holy Judgment, I believe. So results in critical hit when attacking. Oh, no, it's not that one, sorry. Oh, it's the alt, I think. That's Star Trace. Anyways, you have to throw punishment on them. You have to use your alt to really increase the damage. And there's just a lot of staging to that. Whereas Meli, it's really just go in with Manny, toss your couple buffs up, go in with Jericho, throw your circle down, start bursting them, and then go in with Meli and just start chaining. So a lot less setup. That's why he gets to clear those gold dungeons and those mastery dungeons quicker, because he just gets to his damage a lot quicker. His damage is a lot more consistent. Escanor takes a little bit more to build up, but when you do build him up, it's just fun. It's super fun to play him because he'll just do one smash hit for like 700,000 or something, you know, because he gets all those debuffs and all the buffs all stacking up on him, and he builds up to that one moment and he just unleashes an alt, and like every single attack he does is doing like 20k damage. So he's very fun, super fun. Very frustrating to play on bosses that move around a lot and hop around the map. So things like Grey Demon, Scorpy Beast, the Dragon, even a Gowlin moves around a lot. So in that sense, super frustrating because you spend all this time setting it up. If you're not setting it up in the the right amount of time and the rotation in terms of like the mechanics of the boss are not lining up with what you're doing, then you throw all your buffs down and he's gone somewhere else anyways. So anyways, that's my take on it. I like running both teams. I do get enjoyment out of both. And I do find Meliodas I'm leaning more on for my farming, and Escanor I'm just having a ton of fun with. So if you have any thoughts on these two teams or even different ways that you would run them, please drop a comment. And if you enjoyed my video, subscribe and drop a like. Thank you, and follow me at Daily Dose of Dutch. Have a great day, guys.